Welcome back to Ask Arna, and we are so fortunate to have Annie from Arizona on the line today. Annie, are you there?
I'm here. I'm here, Arna. Thank you for taking the call.
Sure. So, Annie, what is the question that you have for me today?
Arna, it, when life is kind of coming at you in the face and you feel like you just really don't have an out anymore and there's nothing really holding you like in this life and you keep entertaining those thoughts and you know they're not good thoughts as far as just not being here anymore, but yet you keep striving and somehow you're just meeting this dead end. It's that push pull type of thing. I'm being pushed to do something, and by the way, I'm a creative, so that you know.
Okay.
And so that it adds more pressure to it, I think, in the world of creatives who like to produce.
Annie,
Also,
yeah, Annie, I have a quick question. What do you mean that you don't want to be here anymore? Could you describe that a little bit for me?
Arnold, when the things really kind of hit hard and come up really fast, and sometimes it's around personal relationships, and sometimes, well, probably a lot. It seems I just want to quit. I really want to quit. I want to drop out. It's like jumping off the edge. And yet, I know better. I'm more intelligent than that. But it comes up so strong. It comes up so incredibly strong. And you know, the tools that I've been told to use, sometimes if it goes too far, it's like, wow, I'm so close to just not wanting to be in this world anymore. So,
All right, so let me just recap what you're saying. That especially around personal relationships, sometimes you feel that you don't want to be here anymore, that you want to check out, whatever that looks like, that you can't really see beyond that. Is that pretty accurate? You just get this overwhelming urge?
that is correct. That is
Okay.
correct.
Is it scary for you?
It is. It seems like it's just really dark, and it doesn't have its resolve because it's so in the moment, and it takes a lot of time and using whatever I can use at the time at the moments to realize how to back off from that, how to back off from that. And so I guess I'm looking at that to be able to calm my life down, to not have those thoughts anymore. Those are just, to me, I know they're not healthy. And so I'm tired of having those thoughts.
Yeah, I can imagine that they must be really scary. I actually think this is a fantastic question that you brought that up today because this week I'm really going to be looking at what I call soul contracts. And I think this question is so incredibly appropriate because many of us go through these experiences and we have no idea what this is about and what is really the bigger picture here. And I guess getting into the bigger picture, when you're focused in the moment, I'm sure when you're in the middle of it, it feels huge to you. And I often talk about pulling out a wide lens on this as if you're observing yourself. So take a moment. And what I'd like you to do is try to get into one of those moments, but see it from a different focal point. Okay, so if you can remember a recent experience where you felt this feeling of wanting to immediately check out, but this time be the observer. And from that perspective, what do you see if you're observing this?
Uh, I'm, thank you. I can see it very well. It's a child. Really, it is a child um, that feels really helpless. There's a helpless moment of not being heard or received or acknowledged. It's not even acknowledged. It's just being received. Somehow being received and heard. Helpless, helpless.
You've so beautifully, by the way, just put this scene of being able to step back and see yourself as this child. Tell me more about the child you see.
It's as if there isn't anything outside of just as if it were, if you were to put the light on it, like maybe a stage presence, or you're just focusing down as you asked me to step away from it and look at it. It's this It's a lost feeling, and this child presence, or what it feels like, it has nothing to hold on to. It doesn't. It doesn't. There's nothing that makes any sense, which is very interesting because that's why I say it's a child. Child doesn't interpret the world around in the way that this lost and hopeless feeling is. There aren't words for it. Nothing makes sense. It's a darkness. It's like something happens. There's a switch that happens. There is no light. There is this incompleteness. There is no future. There is no hope.
I totally hear that. So the question is, Annie, do you think if you can just step back in the moment and say to yourself, I need to step back here. I want to observe this scene. If you're able to do that in the moment, do you think that will help you?
Yes, it's catching it at the right time, I believe, because I've been kind of working with it in my own mind and trying to figure it out, because that's who I am. I am a creative, and I look at it as that after the fact. It is a creation, and how it is, but the feelings, going to that feeling level, somehow dissolves the mind. There's a block on the mind. So there's no rationale. Interesting. There's no rationale. So if I stand back to look at it now, what steps can I take before I get to the place that becomes hopeless, helpless?
And I'd like to give you another way to look at this, because I think our perspective is incredibly important on how we navigate our soul contract, okay? One of the reasons I believe we can go into such a dark state is actually a gift. And you might think, what kind of gift is this? To go so dark and to feel so low. But the lower we go, sometime into the darkness, the greater the light that can come in. So if you know that when these experiences happen, they're there for you as a gift. Not to look at them on a literal level, but to experience them on the lesson level. So what is the lesson here? And also understand that you are having an energetic experience here to clear more and more space for love and light in your life, also for your creations. So this is the gift here. You are getting to know your child. You are getting to experience that child in a way, and that child is appearing through this. There's also space opening up for you. So there's a lot of opportunities. We don't want to push this away because we're afraid of it or it feels bad. We want to work with it. We want to embrace it. So really, that is the message here, Annie, is to embrace your child and speak to your child and start having that ongoing dialogue with your child way before this happens, and let your child know when it does happen, you will be there to embrace her.
Wow.
You will be there. You will be there. So really, that is the lesson here. So Annie, what would you say you got from our exchange today? What is the message for you?
You know, Arna, as you say that, I realize I have not, it's like, why haven't I acknowledged the child? I have probably all of my life, which is now I'm a senior, not been able to work with that child. For whatever reason, I can be childlike, but I haven't worked with the inner child. And that is really big. I appreciate that. I get that. So it's the patience and the time, rather than trying to quiet or say that it's not appropriate or you shouldn't be having those feelings, that I can sit with it and actually embrace it in a more loving way.
And embrace her now. Embrace her before these incidences. What you're going to find is if you embrace her now, she's not going to have a temper tantrum. She's not going to feel like jumping off the ledge because she will know that you hear her. Anyway, Annie from Arizona, thank you so much for joining me today on Ask Arna, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
I love when my viewers write me questions. And one viewer wrote the question that they're really having difficulty with what they call the finality of life. And I did write back to this viewer and said that I would discuss more in this posting. So when people talk about the finality of life, what I'd like to say is we have this wonderful opportunity when we're in our physical body, but that is not life. That happens to be the life of our physicality. But I don't see finality, actually. What I see is our beautiful energy when it's time to leave our physical body. It continues on. It changes form, the law of conservation of energy, that neither energy can be created or destroyed. And then we take another form. So what is the purpose of our life then? And that was the second part of the question. So I would say no to finality of our life, but also what I would say is that when we are in body, what I call in body, we have this wonderful ability to have these sensate experiences with all of our senses as we engage with others. And that's a great opportunity to really do healing of what I call the negative energy. So when we're in body, we have the opportunity to really cleanse and transform energy. So when our body and our life from that standpoint is complete, our energy is at a more pure, light, love level. So I think that's our life purpose, is to really take the time, clear what they say the karma, complete what needs to be completed, to go deeper in our experience of love, to understand that we are love. So it's really quite a beautiful process. And there is no finality. Finality always brings a real fear to people. So there is nothing to fear because it is all about love, learning to love ourselves more, learning to love others, learning that we already are blessed and that we are love. Another question I was asked is, what about evil and all the cruelty around us? Is that the purpose of life? What is that about? So let me tell you my experience with all of the negativity that is around us. And yes, there really is negativity. But once again, the idea that we do need dark to understand light. We do need suffering to learn compassion. So it's really the law of opposites of our life. And as long as we do not stay in that, in other words, if we do understand the greater meaning of life is to get to the place of love, we accept that these other dark energies are really there to help us actually get there. So look at them as tools, but don't take them literally. See them more as lessons. Ask the question, if you come across a dark energy, why am I having this experience? What is it there to teach me about myself? So I look forward to seeing you in my next posting and really going to a deeper level of compassion and negative energy and lots more. Thank you for watching my YouTube Ask Arna channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button right below.